It's called the March of the Living.
We decided to take the whys from the classroom and to confront what it's happened to be the place when crime took place. We're talking about camps, marches of death.
More than 10,000 marchers, young and old, from around the world, walked nearly 2 miles from Auschwitz to Birkenau, Nazi death camps, on Yom HaShoah, Israel's Holocaust Remembrance Day. A week later, they fly here to Jerusalem for the end of the lesson. Thousands march on the streets of Jerusalem to the Western Wall. From the Holocaust to Israel's rebirth, this final march is the resurrection or redemption walk.
So we're trying to teach no revenge, but love, tolerance, understand your fellow men.
In 28 years, more than 250,000 people from 52 nations participated in the march. Dr. Shmuel Rosenman, chairman of the March of the Living International, told CBN News tolerance could help avoid another Holocaust.
But unfortunately, you see what happened in the last 70 years, all over the world. So the world did not learn much. So we believe that each one of the participants can go to his own community, to his own family, Jew or not Jews, okay? And to be a change agent for the love of the fellow man.
Nazis murdered 6 million Jews from 1933 to 1945, half of them in Poland, and 1 million in Auschwitz-Birkenau. Marching that same ground made a huge impact.
And I can't put myself in their shoes, even though I've tried to put myself in their scenarios so many times. And like walking through the grounds, like someone could have been shot there.
But just to think about everything that happened here, and it's really only 70 years, like really could have been me.
As time passes, fewer survivors remain to tell their stories. Adele Besserman is one who still works to spread the word to a younger generation.
I was 9 years old, and here I am on my 5th trip to be with the children. And you know what? That monster didn't win completely. I have now 3 children, 3 daughter-in-laws, 6 grandkids, and 1 grandson. And I love every moment of it.
Organizers want to make sure this is never forgotten.
We're kind of the generation that has to tell their stories, so it's just like a roller coaster of emotions, but it's something that I think everyone needs to experience.
Some already tell of personal connections.
My grandma's a survivor, and she was from Lithuania, and her family owns a windmill, and one of the Christian workers kept her there in their house, and a little girl was scrutinized by a Nazi, the Christian little girl, and asked, "Are there any Jews here?" And she said no, and she saved my grandmother's life.
My entire family is from Poland. Half of them died here. The other half made it to America right before the war started. This is my 3 brothers and me with my great-grandma on one of her birthdays. My mom packed me this. She wanted me to see this as I was walking through the camp.
Many young people wrap themselves with Israeli flags, a sign of victory.
And my 2 great-grandparents were on a train going to a concentration camp. Around 7 people jumped off and they hid in the woods. But some of my family members actually didn't jump off and they actually perished.
At Birkenau, many placed small handmade signs along the railroad tracks that carried the Jews to their death.
It says never forget, and I have in memory of my great-grandparents, Simon and Shura Pupko, and in honor of my grandmother, Masha Pupko.
If seeing is believing, then the march spurs them to action.
It could happen again, and we're trying to prevent that, and we have to speak up.
I think there really is a message. If you come back and you see this place, you learn about the horrors that happened in the Holocaust. It'd never happen again, and it is. It's happening all over the world, in Africa especially, where we really need to step up and make a difference.
Christians participate too, to show their love for Israel and the Jewish people.
A lot of innocent blood was shed in the land of Poland. So we prayed to God for forgiveness for what has happened to the people of Israel.
In Israel, the mood was completely different as 3,500 youth walked along Jerusalem's old city walls.
After seeing all the pain and the sorrow in Poland, coming here, landing here in Israel, just brought spirits and good energy to everyone.
At the Western Wall, they gathered to sing and pray for Israel. a sign of triumph of the March of the Living.
It felt right, seeing how the Jewish community survived that extermination and were able to build a community here that's prosperous.
This Hebrew song seemed to sum up the trip. Am Israel Chai, the people of Israel live. Chris Mitchell, CBN News.